The substitution control is one of those mysterious controls that few developers know the purpose of. The substitution control is used on cached pages to define areas that will not be cached. This allows you to create pages that are only partially cached. Note that web user controls can also be used to enable partially cached pages. This was mentioned in the previous lesson. To begin this lesson, open the Textland project from your Sample Files folder. And open timezones.aspx in Design View. You enabled caching on this page in the previous lesson. That's lesson 8.10. Now delete the label GMT control and replace it with a substitution control. You will find the substitution control in the standard category of the toolbox. Set the ID property of the new control to Substitution GMT. Because you deleted the label GMT control, the code that refers to it will now cause an error. Open the code behind file of timezones.aspx and delete the line of code that starts with labelgmt.txt. It is necessary for a substitution control to use a delegate method, as this is the only way that it can bypass caching. You learned about delegate methods in lesson 4.10. Add the following code to create a new method for the substitution control to use. Public static string get GMT time HTTP context return datetime .utcnow.toLong time string. The HTTP context argument is required because substitution delegate methods must have the same arguments and return value as the system.web.http response substitution callback method. Return to timezones.aspx in Design View now, and set the method name property of your substitution control to getGMTTime. The substitution control will now automatically call the getGMTTime method each time the page is loaded and display the result on the page. Test your substitution control now by viewing timezones.aspx in your web browser. Each of the times is displayed. After a few seconds, press your web browser's refresh button to refresh the page. Then wait a few more seconds and refresh again. You need to refresh the page twice to get the cached copy for the post verb. For more on this, see lesson 8.10. Because this page is cached, the EST, CST, and MT values do not update to the correct time. However, the substitution control bypasses caching, so the correct GMT time is displayed every time the page is refreshed. Close your web browser now, and close Visual Studio. You've now completed lesson 8.11. use the substitution control to enable partial caching.